Well, here's a interesting little electro-mechanical engine that I got off of eBay for next to nothing at all. It's basically a solenoid beam engine, and the solenoid is in here, obviously, and the rest of the configuration is pretty much self-explanatory. Obviously scratch built, but not badly done. The contact breaker down here is operated by a rod, which is operated by a cam on the end of the crankshaft. And yeah, I saw this and I just thought, yeah, this is a little bit different. I like anything that's a little bit different, and I thought I'd put a bid in on it, and I won. As I said, I think it was less than a tenner actually. So another engine to the electro-mechanical engine collection. So I have no idea what voltage this thing runs off of, so I'll use the bench power supply and bring it up slowly. Got a few issues. First one is the con rod. There's nothing holding it onto the crank pin, so you could just pull that off. So I don't know whether that will stay on there when it's running. Probably not. What else? Oh yeah, the other one that needs investigating is that the solenoid here, this is all loose. So I'm going to have to take that apart and find out what's going on with all of that. But other than that, I think it seems to be okay. This is a bit bent, this thing here. I don't know what's been going on with that, but yeah, we'll sort all that out. And also work out what voltage, hopefully, that this thing actually operates on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this running, and hopefully I won't have to do too much work. Fingers crossed. Well, the little solenoid operated beam engine is finished, and it took quite a bit more work than I was anticipating. These things always do, but we did actually manage to get it running in the end. Now, part of the problem was there was some serious bodgery going on with the mounting of the solenoid, and I'll change the camera angle and we'll have a look at what I've done to overcome that. Originally, the solenoid had, believe it or not, 2 brass screws epoxied onto the base of it, which is a brass plate. They then went through this plate and were held on with nuts, and this plate was screwed to the base. Well, obviously, you know, the epoxy just didn't hold, and that's why the thing was flopping around all over the place. I had a bit of head scratching and came up with this solution, which is basically a block of hardwood scrap that I had lying around. This is 45mm in diameter. Used a Forstner bit to drill a hole in it, then stuck it on the lathe and turned it to what you see here. And the solenoid is now a good press fit in this, and yeah, I think it looks all right. You know, it's done the job, and the solenoid is now solidly fixed to the base. Of course, that wasn't the only problem. Even with the original mount, the bottom of this rod here was bottoming out on the top of the solenoid. So I've took it apart, pulled the core out, and skimmed both ends of this, and now this will sit down further and it doesn't bottom out. There's not a lot of leeway, but you know, you only need a few thou, just as long as it doesn't bottom out, and it's fine. So yeah, basically that's all I've done to it, and basically also oiled everything because all of the moving surfaces were bone dry. So let's get it going. Now that's 10 volts, so we'll slow it down a little bit. That's about 8.5 volts. Now it runs quite nicely. Well, I'm well pleased with that. When I first tried it, it made a horrific racket, and that was, I just hadn't bothered to oil anything. I suddenly thought, well, yeah, it does look absolutely bone dry. So I did a little drop of oil on all the moving surfaces, and oh my god, it made a world of difference. You see the breaker there. The actual operating rod doesn't move very far, but it's just enough. That runs a treat now. I'm not really sure what the flywheel and the beam are made from. It might be hardboard or possibly Paxilin. Certainly the flywheel might be Paxilin. It's got that shiny surface on it, but it doesn't weigh very much. But yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest thing since sliced bread, but you know, it works, it runs. Somebody had the idea and they built it. So oh, it's a nice little engine to add to my collection. I mean, it will run faster, but you don't really want it to run any faster than that. I mean, that's fine. This is all still a bit bent. I tried to straighten it out, and I may well do some more work on that. I mean, I'll have to move the mount for the solenoid, but this is where it likes to be, so I'm not going to bother too much with it. Certainly runs fine in that position. So there you go. That's the latest solenoid engine added to my collection, and not a bad little engine at all. Like I said, not the best thing in the world. You can see this is wobbling around all over the place here, but it works. So, well, I think that'll do for the little solenoid operating beam engine. As always, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.